Welcome back to KTN Prime. Thank you so much for staying with us. As hinted earlier, we're set to have a conversation on the state of the nation as we evaluate the latest developments that are playing out in the country. Barely 1 year to the general election. How time flies. And speaking of elections, we have one coming up just next week, Thursday, where all Kalou residents will be going to the polls to elect their new member of parliament. And with the campaigns, it came with goodies for the residents. Some are complaining that it is bribery in the guise of development. And I'll be picking the minds of the former legislators, including a deputy governor who's joining me right here in studio. And we'll equally take a look at that ongoing case around the speakers of the National Assembly and Senate being involved in active politics. And does Kenya really need a benevolent dictator? All that, including the opposition intrigues around picking a presidential candidate to face off against President William Ruto. So welcome. Let me introduce my guests who are joining me. I'll start with Deputy Governor for Machakos County, Francis Mwangangi. Not a new face to the show. Karibu sana. It's great to have you with us.
Thank you.
Asante, we saw you speaking earlier this week in Machakos after that unfortunate tragedy at the Machakos market. Well, what's the progress? We saw some promises made. Have they been actualized?
Almost 50% is already achieved, and there is a committee from government side and from the traders. They have since elected a committee that is working towards ensuring they are back and in business.
Yes, Santi. Yes. We'll get to interact with you later on. Allow me to introduce Kimani Ngunjiri, who's joining us. He's a former member of parliament for Bahati constituency, having served from 2013 to 2022. Karibu sana.
Asante sana.
Watu wa Nakuru wako aje?
Watu wa Nakuru wako sawa.
Kabisa.
Kwa sababu siasa ni kawaida.
Mmezoea hiyo mambo.
Tumezoea. Sisi ni wakongwe wa hiyo siasa, tunaijua.
Asante sana.
Lakini itakuja sawa tu.
Tumejoiniwa pia na Joe Mutambu, who's a former member of parliament for Mwingi Central, having served during the 11th parliament. And by the way, you all served during the 11th parliament.
Yeah, we are good friends.
Yeah.
And we are working very well. But we are scattered by this politics.
Actually, I think, and I don't want to be biased because I was in that session. 11th Parliament will be remembered as the most vibrant parliament, and with credible members of parliament of recent days. Yes.
Okay, the jury is out there, but later on I'll be asking you if the speakers back then were involved in partisan campaigns, because that's one of the issues we'll be deliberating on. But let's start with the hottest topic in town. It's all to do with the All Kalou by-election, and IEBC just today warned that July 16th mini poll could be postponed or cancelled if escalating violence and electoral malpractices continue to threaten the integrity of the poll. Some have called it commercialization of elections. Some call it voter facilitation exercise. Others question why an MP has to pass by-elections are called for government to open the floodgates of development. They're questioning the timing, not the impact of development in the area. And it's clear that the All Kalou by-election and campaigns have had good tidings for the residents. And you've seen our reports. Most Kenyans in that particular constituency are happy that the development carrot is being dangled. But at what cost? I think that's the big question, because there's nothing wrong with development, but the timing is suspicious. A lot of leaders have spoken on it. Let's listen to some of the diverse voices that spoke on the matter briefly.
Just no more government programs that we are running. Only that it coincided with my timetable that I am doing field visits and field verification and commissioning at the same time that All Kalou is having by-election.
The way William Ruto is dealing with the people of All Kalou, you eat his beans, you eat his rice, you sleep on his mattress, you cover yourself with his blanket, you wake up and buy bread with his money, and then you go and vote for Sammy Douglas Kamau.
We remind our fellow citizens that you do not choose a leader when you get to the ballot box. Rather, you choose a leader months or years earlier by reviewing their track record in serving the nation.
If we find that the environment is not conducive enough for us to conclude the by-election in Kalou, we'll be left with no choice other than to take the most unfortunate and drastic step of postponing the elections in Kalou. And if that's not enough, we will cancel it altogether.
Okay, and the front page of tomorrow's edition of Kenya's Bold newspaper is referencing to that story, all to do with IEBC. Is it all back and no bite in regards to the open bribery incidences that have played out in Kalou? Do make sure you grab yourself a copy of the Bold newspaper. Let's start on that particular note, gentlemen. I'll start with you, DG, because distributing incentives to constituents is not a new phenomenon in Kenya's political space. But how much does money influence the voting patterns? Because we hear politics is quite expensive, especially when you factor in the demands from the electorate, where some, if not all, might demand something from their leaders. So as you reflect on what's happening in Kalou, how much sway does money have in terms of the voters' voting patterns?
Thank you. I want to remind Kenyans watching us that not so long ago we had a by-election in Machakos. What the government is doing, even the president himself paid a visit. A minister was deployed. The MPs leaning on this government camped in that particular ward, Mombasa North. And we saw what is happening in exactly the same script, same everything, pooling of money. But we told our people, eat these looted, stolen monies, but teach them a lesson. And that is what happened. What is happening in Kalou is pure bribery, trying to enthuse residents not to vote using their conscience, but to be influenced on who to vote for by the government. Why now? What is the source of money? I've seen, you have not played that clip by a member of parliament who used 1.2 million. A colleague of ours in parliament.
And he comes from Nakuru.
And a good friend of mine, by the way. You have not played that clip. It is pure bribery. It is as simple as that. And popular regime does what this regime is doing. If Kenyans are left freely, I can tell you today, this administration cannot get 10% of Kenyan vote.
But when you're campaigning in 2027, wouldn't you use the development carrot to sway the masses in Machakos County? It's all fair, is it?
There's a very huge difference, just like a day and night. We have 5 years of doing development, not during elections.
Fair enough. Let's cross over to you. And he's raised a very critical point that one of your colleagues from Nakuru County is on record saying he's distributed 1.2 million in a day. And he was supposed to equally collect identity cards. He defended himself, saying it was simply to be accountable in terms of the electorate and making sure they're giving money to those who are voting in that particular constituency. Talk to us about this culture. Is it politics or is it actual development? Because we had over 5 PSs in Kalou. Coincidentally, they said their schedule sort of went hand in hand with the by-elections happening there.
Well, let me say this because it's something on the eyes of Kenyans. And everybody is watching and is seeing what is happening.
True.
First, I would like to correct, he did not say 1.2 first. He said he spent before 800,000.
You had to go back and get...
But now I have come with 1.2. Oh. That's what he said. It is MP Kadia. It is there to mention him.
And we played that story
It is not a problem,
earlier.
and he played that in any year. I think there are 2 things he wanted to show. One, I think he never wanted to show the people he has money, but he wanted to show the master who gave the money. The money I've used the way it is supposed to
be used.
To be used. But I think he could not maybe even use 200,000. They are also thieves. Even the people who have been the same, they are also thieves. And that's how politics goes. I've been working with Moi, I've worked with Kibaki, I've worked with Uhuru, I've worked with Ruto. If I worked with 4 presidents, I'm not a fool. And I'm not very clever, but I'm not a fool. I can project and tell you there's a problem. And I want to tell you today, where we are going in this country is going to be worse. When we start bribing people, giving them money, we are teaching people bad habit. And let me tell you, the election coming, it will be very expensive. Very expensive. Right now, already when you go there and you stop, just you are buying your meat or something else, the boys are coming and say, okay, you have come. What are you giving us? You cannot be able to move, even in the shop, anywhere, because they have been taught.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, people or young people, or majority of people, they don't do more on what they hear. Even what they hear in the media here. They don't take it seriously. But what they take seriously is what they see. What they are seeing now, or kind of seeing with their own eyes. You cannot change those habits. Like now, I will tell you, even the students are not going to school. Yeah? They are not. They are just preparing themselves to go and look for money. We are neighboring in Dondoli. That side of Dondoli, you cannot get a motorbike. In the morning is the journey. Going to Kalou. Where is this meeting? Where is this meeting? Where is this meeting? I think we are doing a very bad bladder and showing people that you can only be elected because of money. But I know one thing. You can be elected because of talking and letting people know what can you do for them. Right now, if you see many people, many of them, they're hiding themselves on the window of the party. One term. But he has no agenda, and he'll be elected. Others on the other side, two term. They will be elected, but they don't have agenda. So we might elect the worst MPs or the worst leadership in this country if we go in that direction. Because nobody is saying, if I'm elected, I'll be in the parliament, I know this is standing order, is not working, I'll be able to do it. They know nothing. So I think what we are saying in Kalou, even the money which I've been spending, I heard you mentioning that figure. About
10 billion around.
10 billion.
In terms of development, yeah.
Yes. But you see, it's not bad development.
Okay. Yeah.
But you see, that money could have taken to where we have crisis. We have problem with the education. We have problem with the medicine. We have problem with the roads. You see, the priority things. Let me tell you in another way, I tell you that you can maybe be a Christian. For me, I tell people, don't go and say I'm a Christian, I received Jesus 30 years or 40 years. Okay. That is not important. But do something people they can see. You are Christian not because of saying when you are saved, but what you are doing. People, they will say, this man look like a Christian. Okay. Because of what he is doing, he's doing. Yeah. So I think where we are going, and especially the problem we have in the Kalou. Let me tell you now, if you see now the ABC, what they are saying, let me tell you, we have failed. We have institutions, but they are not working. Now they are coming when it's too late. When it is completely too late. If anything will happen there, nobody will trust IBC because they have let it go. Okay. They have let it work in the wrong way. And that's why we're having a problem. We have a very good constitution. We have a very good procedure of things by law, by the constitution. But who is using it? Nobody. We have left it somewhere. Now we are doing jungle laws. And the other thing you need also to discuss here today, I beg you, is the issue of goons.
And we'll get to that.
We'll get into goons.
Definitely.
That is very important.
Because there's one politician who was supposed to join us. Just yesterday was saying that there's no politician who can exist without goons. And perhaps we'll raise that question a little bit later on.
I think he's right because I saw him being chased himself. I saw him being chased.
Okay, he's not here to defend himself. Joe, with your prior experience, looking at what's happening in Kalou, and mind you, The residents of Mbere North are raising questions 8 months after the mini polls. They're asking where the transformers have gone that were brought there during the campaigns in the last mile connectivity project. They're now in the darkness, some of them. So it seems this particular development is aligned with politics. Talk to us about what's at stake, even as you reflect on what's happening in Kalou. What's at stake here for either the opposition or the government? Mount Kenya seems to be slipping from the hands of Ruto. He can't afford to let it go. So is he winning it by all means, including instances of voter bribery?
I was born and raised in a Christianity family. And I used to read the book called Bible. And inside I saw a story whereby there was a woman who was being cascaded as a prostitute. I don't know, she has done what. And people wanted to stone her. Then Jesus came and said, if you know you have not sinned, throw the first stone. I draw that narrative based on the conversation I'm getting here. Mm-hmm. That this is bribing, that is bribing. I don't know whether there is a politician, live or dead, who was never given a coin to a voter.
Including yourself?
Including me.
Okay.
Me, no. I raised my hand.
I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe I'll see today with Gujiri. And being a politician, not of yesterday, but since 1992, that is the time I was active in politics. Mm. In 1983, I tested men of politicians, and I was young. 1985, I was in a place called Zeruni, and I remember we had a by-election of one man called Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka after we lost Philip Manandu. I remember they could come, we queue, they give us, by then it was 5 shillings, 3 shillings, if you get more.
And that was a lot of money.
So one person comes, by the name Kalonzo Musyoka, we used to call him Kipanga, Panga, right? Mm. We queue. Another one called Mulei Vele comes, we queue. That was 1985, right?
Yeah.
Then come 1992, I was a youth winger, and I was supporting a member called Badawi of Malindi. 1992, I was living in Watamu. I saw money. And that was the time we had this thing we used to call Jirongo.
YK92.
YK92. Mm-hmm. And there was a note of 500 shillings, okay, which came just because of politics. So, when we sit here and we start saying that we are so holy, it is only this government which is bribing people, and we are not reading between the lines of history of what has been happening in our political arena, who has been doing what, where, when. Then we cast as passion, or we cast stones to this government. I wanted to tell you, this is a conversation not for the sitting government, but for the nation, to see whether this monster called money and the politics can be detached and let people vote with their own conscience, but not influenced by any token, either by way of money, monetary, or by material, right?
Okay.
What I would encourage, if there is by-election in Mwingi Central today, or in any ward, and the government wants to make all the roads, please come tomorrow. Do it. Because after that election, they will not pick those roads. The people of Mwingi Central will use those roads to their advantage. All right? And I don't think there's any opposition member who will say this road was done during the election and I'm not going to use it. I'm going to pass along it. They will use that road comfortably. and they will love it, and it will be to their advantage. So what am I saying? If there are arrangements to do developments, to persuade people to vote in certain direction, so be it, if it is helping people. I only get or divert from the conversation when I hear people, this money is looted. In our country, if there is any development or if there is any tender being given out, it goes through the budget. There is no road which will be done without going through the budget. Okay. And the process of making the budget goes through the parliament. And in any case, the president goes outside the budget, they will use what we call 3222, of which after he spends that money, he will take that report to parliament within, I think the law says, within some few months, I mean 3 or some few days, you have to take whatever you have used within that provision of the Constitution to Parliament for ratification. So once you hold it to one person, it is wrong because it's being done through the institutions which are constitutional institutions.
But
so
then tell me,
my take on this, and this is the point I'm driving on. When we sit here and we say it is extremely wrong or the government is bribing people, what I know is every politician, opposition, government, whatever, if it is Mueria speaking on this table, I would understand. Because I don't know whether bishops, they do go, I mean, he has the local standard to address Kenyans on that. Okay. But not a politician to say people are being bribed. And when he lives here, he will not reach his home. If it is daytime, you will see them doing like this. So if we are doing it, why are we, pointing fingers at others? We should say collectively, as politicians, we are doing it wrong.
All right.
Let us not point fingers.
But before you come in, the bills have to be paid. Let's take a short commercial break. You'll get a right of reply. Let's do just that. We'll be back in a few. Keep it KTN Prime. Welcome back to KTN Prime. We continue with the conversation right here. And before the break, we were canvassing the instances of voter bribery, or is it a development, especially in Kalou ahead of the mini poll that is scheduled for next week, Thursday. In studio, I'm joined by Joe Mutambu, former Member of Parliament, equally joined by former Member of Parliament Kimani Ngunjiri and the Deputy Governor of Machakos County, that is Francis Mwangangi. Mwangangi, right of reply, but as you do so, IEBC all back and no bite. They've given warnings. This is not the first instance. We saw that happen in the other by-elections. Shouldn't they crack the whip finally?
A very simple question with an answer as yes, as far as IEBC is concerned. But let me put a writing. Under Dr. William Ruto, there are no institutions of governance in Kenya. They exist by name. Show me one. Show me one. Even the independent institutions, all of them have been captured.
So you have no faith in the courts?
Why I can tell you, they used to be. Nowadays, they try, their budget is removed. And if they have to be dependent, they are quiet. What if we were truly a democratic society that respects our constitution? Today, what is happening in Kalou, an action should have been taken way long time ago, okay? Because it is pure bribery, call it as such. You asked a very simple question to Mheshimiwa, and I used in Parliament, we used to refer to him because he used to be very sharp. I don't know what happened to him. But now,
he's still sharp.
but
That's why
now,
he's here.
but now you have asked a very simple question that required a simple answer with reference to Kalou and what is happening at the moment. But Mheshimiwa is going around and trying to bring His Excellency Dr. Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka, in Jesus' name, the next president of this republic. He has to bring him into contest so that he can show his current masters that, you know, this guy came in through the same process you are doing in Kalou. What is happening in Kalou is a serious economic crime that is being committed there. Let me share with the viewers something that happened last Sunday. For the first time in that region, we saw an Arambe in a church that a member of parliament whose academic qualifications are still under contestation came carrying 20 million. 20 million. You are telling me that is, which kind of business is this being done by people related to UDA? Where Mutambo is? You know, the thing is we need to be realistic because we have a country. The thing that is happening in Kalou is because we have reduced Kenyans to where J.M. Kariuki predicted way back in, I think, 1975, when he said, Kenya, if we continue this way, we are going to have 10 million beggars against 10 millionaires. That is where now this administration is taking this country. Bringing policies that are going to ensure Kenyans are very poor ahead of the next election, so that the only thing they have to influence is money, and they are the only ones with the money.
So didn't Machakos benefit from development during the by-election? He mentioned that if a road is built by the government, you'll still benefit.
Let me tell you, there were all manner of exactly the same script of what is happening in Kalou. And we stepped back and said, we told our people, here the time, in fact, I remember our principals came. And it is His Excellency, the second deputy president of the Republic of Kenya, Rigathi Gachagua, who told Canvas, we know the script. We have not come with the money bags in our boots. We have no money to give you, but we are opening a restaurant here. If these people come around, go for this money, but wait during a voting day and teach them a lesson. That is what happened.
Okay. As you come in, I'd ask the question about the importance of this particular by-election for either side of the political divide. Is it a do-or-die affair for the Kenya Kwanza administration, or is it the broad-based government in terms of showing they still have credible support within the Mount Kenya region? And for the opposition, by the way, they took a big beating in Mbeere North. So this is a high-stakes affair for them as well. Well, what's at stake here?
Well, what I would like to say, and maybe respond on Mukangu, you say, we are not saying only the government is bribing, but both sides. If anybody is doing it, that's what I would say myself in my age, it is wrong. Both sides, if there is any side doing it.
Yes.
But the one which is being seen openly is like that one for Gekalia confirming. I came with 800,000, I'll finish. Today I've come with 1.2. You see a politician saying that.
Okay.
That's why it has been seen like it is only the government. But the other ones, maybe they might be doing it, but they are doing it underground, where you cannot, which is good. Where if they're hiding, that would be okay. But this one is being done openly. That's why I'm saying it is wrong.
Even hiding is not okay. It's not against the electoral code of conduct.
I've just told you something. Many people don't react on what they are hearing.
What they
see.
It
is what they see.
Okay.
And that's why you see even the children. When they see you, you are killing your wife with a knife, you are abusing your wife in the house, and the children are there. They will take that very serious. And next time they will do it. That's why I'm saying hiding it, I think it's a little bit better.
Okay,
But
what's at stake?
But one day,
Yeah.
I also like to do something to be a deputy governor, because you can see the brush.
That was all fair. Tuendele na substance. What's at stake in Mount Kenya? Briefly.
What I can say,
Yes, yes.
I know there's tug of war
Yeah.
in the bull side, and that is normal in politics.
Yeah.
Like Mukang, when you'll be vying, you'll be having somebody on the other side also who is opposing him.
Yeah.
And everybody uses trick how he can be elected. But I think we should not encourage
Okay.
corruption. We should condemn it so that we can be able to give a good picture to the young people and the people who are coming up. But when we say it is normal for everybody, and it is not good, especially now we are talking in this media. Maybe 2 million people are watching us in this media. Should we, or more? So should we encourage that? No, we should say no.
Okay.
Don't do that. Let's be elected without doing any corruption. By saying that everybody, even those ones who are here, I'm not one of them.
But hasn't it been normalized? He had a point in terms of politicians. It's called a dirty game for a reason, an expensive endeavor for a reason.
But you see,
yeah.
we should control, not to encourage.
Okay.
We should try to talk to our people. We are the politicians.
All right.
And I want to tell you, the people who are messing this country, not anybody else, is the politician.
Then tell me what's at stake in Mount Kenya, briefly, before we
see
cross
now,
over to Joe. He's been
the
patient.
The fight which is there,
Yeah.
you never know which side the seat to go. But my point is, what to happen after election? Also, I'm saying even the issue of goons, what to happen? If Ruto win his government on that seat, so what to happen later? If opposition will win, what to happen? Not even the seat of Kalou. I'm saying even the presidential. If people have no peace, and Ruto may win in a good way, and if he wins and the people think they have not won, what to happen next year? Let me tell you what we are doing with Moi. I was chairman of Kalou myself in a Kalou district for 10 years. We used to make tarmac. We used to build the schools, very good ones. Then we go with Moi for campaign. We tell people, oh, you see, we have done this tarmac, and this nowadays now is very good. People will tell us, fold your tarmac and go with it. We say, you have you seen what you have done in the school? Get a lorry and get there. What I'm trying to say, the peace of the country is more important than development. Development, we need it, but peace also. It controls politics. It gives confidence on agendas and the things which are going. Right. But when the politics is not good, like now I will say, Ruto have done beautiful things or good things in the project. But politically is where there is now a problem. And second, I will tell people, let's not fight on the religion and the tribal. No. You did not apply to be born a Mukamba. I was not born to be born a Mukikuyu and be born in Nakuru. That is normal with God. Let's not fight on that. Right. But let the regions talk and see how we can come together and work together.
Fair
and
point.
We need to condemn bad things, not to encourage bad things which can bring problem in this country.
Okay, interesting.
And you know, in Mutambo's speech, which it took almost 15 minutes, but I could not get his point. He quoted Jirongo. You remember
Jirongo, yes.
Yes. And you know, the country took so long to recover from that economic destruction. Yet, he seems to have enjoyed it. You know, one thing, when we say,
it was just stating a fact.
When we say
we are crossing lines.
when we say we are dishing, when we say we politicians are dishing these monies, he should have completed the statement and say the same politicians who are dishing out are in America. They say in America they say. Show me extreme rich and I will show you an economic crime.
Mutambo, right of reply, but as you do so, IBC has put up spending caps for politicians. If you want to vie as Member of Parliament, 94 million shillings, Governor, 123 million shillings. Presidential candidates, 4.4 billion, and political parties are capped at 17.7 billion when it comes to the 2027 general election. Do you have faith in IEBC's ability to implement these spending caps if they can't crack the whip right now when it comes to voter bribery?
Before I answer that,
yes.
What I will not do, I will not labor, try to explain something if somebody cannot understand. I will not labor on that. Whatever I said, I was paraphrasing. And if you understand the meaning of paraphrasing, then you will not argue about it. Because I gave an example of how this madness we are in, how it manifested itself from beginning. Okay?
Yeah.
If you cannot understand or read my lines and understand what I'm saying, it is very difficult for me to labor to make you understand. But I know very well the audience I'm addressing, the people, the 2 million plus, the 3 million who are watching KTN, most of them, 50% of them are voters. 50% to 60% are voters. And they know what goes on, where they come from, where they vote from, when they practice politics in our country. So we are not addressing babies. We are addressing the people who knows what goes on in our political cycle and what and how politicians behave, including in Mutambo. So they know me.
Okay.
I'm not going to sit there and start pretending to be holier than thou. No, I'll say it as it is. If I had anybody, I have no apology to make. Coming to your question, I can't recollect myself to understand how IEBC will be able to actualize or to monitor what they're telling us. One, we need to understand we have clusters of politicians. There are politicians who come to politics because they have money. And we have rich politicians in the game. And we have people who don't have that kind of money we're mentioning. There are people politicians who vie simply because they want to sing a song of either a kingpin of the area and they stick with them so that they go to parliament or to senate or they become governors because they are riding on the political goodwill or, if I may call it, social capital of a kingpin. We have those kind of politicians. You ask somebody their bank balance, they will show you nothing. You come to my bank balance, you will not see anything. But most of the people, most of the politicians, they don't keep their money in the bank whereby you can trace and check. They keep it. So it is good if we as a country, I think actually even the money which the IEBC is giving is too high for 95 million. I can tell you, you can count the members of parliament who has a balance of 95 million in their account. Very few. Very few. Okay?
Yeah.
Some with 5 million, 10 million, and because they have the support of their kingpin from the area, they are there. There are some areas where once you say one word, one name,
that's it.
You are in.
Okay.
Once you get that ticket, you are in.
Okay.
You don't need much. So it is something which needs a lot of debate. We need to discuss about it because I know they are saying it for good, but I'm looking at it and see where the story is coming from. You know, we have several political parties who are funded by donors, either outside the country or other people.
Okay.
All right? And you know also of the government, and he says that I defend the government. Me, I am always neutral. Sometimes the government will come and look at it and say, Gojiri has some people funding him, and he is opposing us, so we cannot receive this amount of money. It happens, okay? So it can also be for that reason that IEBC is coming up with this.
All right, fair point.
So there are so many reasons
okay.
to believe the IEBC are drawing their fact from. But it is something to ask ourselves, to debate, How are they going to implement that?
Okay.
Let me support him, Mutambu.
Because we need to...
On that one,
yeah, we need to move forward.
On that
okay.
One. If it's the money being given from Treasury or somewhere, it can be controlled. But let me tell you, that is just a talk. You cannot control politicians' money. I agree with Mutambu there, because some don't have in the bank, but they will sell their cows. Some they don't have, they will sell their goods. And they will not take in the bank where it can be counted. So that is just a figure which cannot actually be controlled properly to know how much you spend. And if they say that the president should spend 40 billion, surely it's a threat to everybody who would like to apply on that seat. And actually what he is saying sometimes, now Mutambu, I'm seeing you are coming now, good. Saying that a member of parliament, 95 million. Where do you get this money, 95 million? And now that 95 million, can we be explained by IBC is for doing what? For bribing people? For your vehicle? Or for what? Because I'll tell you, when I was buying, when I started in the Kalou, I used a lot of money to spend. Actually, I started with about 27 million. I got 3,000 votes. I came down to about 17 million. Then the vote added a bit, 3,800. I came down.
So you're saying the less you use, the more votes you get?
That is for me.
For you, okay, your personal experience.
And when the last minute I was getting that. When I reduced the money, I used about 7 million only. I got 50,180. 50,180 from 3,800.
Okay.
The second term, which I finished, I got 60,650. It is in the record. Before you go,
at that point, I feel vindicated because just some few minutes ago, Ujiri said he has never used money. And when he tells us he spent 20 million, and we know the constituency comes from the agents, how much it would cost, the materials, the caps and everything, what did you use the other money for?
For the vehicles, for my vehicles. People sacrificed themselves. The way I started coming down, it is when I was starting the politics. It's when I was starting the politics at the time of coming.
So you had to spend money on what?
That time.
On people.
Yes, but no, in my vehicles, buying my vehicles. I didn't have vehicles.
Billboards.
Buying vehicles, billboard, but not from Mutambu corrupting.
Okay, gentlemen, let's push this conversation forward because there are other issues that are playing out in the country. Let's agree to disagree on that particular matter. Speaking of the Speaker's involvement in active politics, because just recently a human rights lobby group filed a constitutional petition to block the National Assembly Speaker, Moses Wetangula, and the Senate Speaker, Amason Kingi, from participating in partisan active political campaigns. The petitioners argued, and I'm sure you've come across this, that active campaigning for President William Ruto's re-election breaches constitutional requirements for institutional independence and political neutrality. It's a matter before court, so sub judice applies, but it's equally a matter in the public gallery. It has been talked about, and we don't seek to influence the court proceedings. So let's just speak about it briefly, gentlemen. And I'll start with you, DG, because they've had their fair share and you've been silent for quite some time. The speakers do have a right to express their political views outside the House. But does that influence their decisions on the floor of the House? Because they're meant to be neutral arbiters. Borrowing from your experience in the 11th Parliament, was this the norm?
Before I go there, allow me to say this.
Okay.
I think the spending, the political spending, we need to differentiate the politics that destroys the economy of the nation and individual political investment for one to get elected. There is a very big difference. The big difference is we used to have Sky Team. Sky Team is the people now in power today. That behavior did not stop. And I stand to be corrected. I'm wondering, is there any nexus, any link between Mwangangi in power and Mwangangi in bunge, just as a member of parliament. Because there is a team here that seems to be extremely filth rich, with a lot of money to throw around and do a lot of funny things. With a clique of businessmen, majority of them very illiterate, if I might say. Illiterate if somebody has never gone beyond standard 7. And you are the one doing all manner of contracts. You know, somehow I stand to be corrected. We are destroying the economy of this country. We are really. Anyway, let me come back to
yes, please.
To your
If we have no words, I can continue.
Let's give him time.
He said
about speakers being neutral arbiters.
I'm trying to compare.
Okay.
The speakers, I'm trying to compare the speakers who have been there and the current ones.
Yes.
What we have in Bunge, in national parliament, both two chambers, Speaker of Senate and Speaker of National Assembly, is now, after you are elected the Speaker, you are a Speaker of National Assembly or Speaker of Senate. That neutrality has to be there. And
but you were picked in a political process.
Yes. We had Justin Muturi as a Speaker. These colleagues of mine, we were together in that parliament. Speaker Mutuli never got out to go and campaign. Yet we knew how he was picked through a partisan majority.
Yes.
But I don't recall him going out and urging people. And somebody maybe, because you journalists, you are very good in research. Maybe you can be, as a speaker of National Assembly, maybe I need a clip to show me, for the 10 years Justin Muturi was Speaker of National Assembly, you can show me that clip. Then we had also the current governor of Bungoma. He was once Speaker of Senate.
Yes.
I did not see him do those kind of things. This brings me back to state capture in this country. It's real. Because if they don't do this, somebody somewhere calls them. You are not doing this. Maybe we might drop you. We might remove you. Those kind of threats. I don't think they are doing it from their own heart, because they know what they are doing is they are supposed to be neutral.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gunjiri,
you see, the problem we're having, because we have to talk the truth. Let's not hide ourselves in the sand, our heads. Let's speak the truth. And that's why I always say, I'm only remaining two things in my age: to talk the truth and preparing myself to go in heaven. Two only. So I will talk the truth all the time. You see, as Mwangangi have said, and also my brother here, you agree with that. The law or the standing orders of the parliament, it is the speaker is elected by the members of the MPs. Regardless the party. Regardless the party, they vote. That's how it's supposed to be. And when you are voted, you need to remember you are not voted by one party or one side. So you should be loyal to all the members of the parliament. And you need the parliament to see, as a member of the parliament, you are doing the right things to everybody. Because there, like now, when these speakers are going into politics, they are not even helping the president. They are messing the vote of the president. Because when you come back in the parliament, if you don't sing the song they want, you press that button to ask permission to talk. They always say, speaker's eye did not see you. So you'll not be given a chance.
Okay.
What will people, members of the parliament, think? No, because maybe I'm in this party, or because maybe I'm supporting the other side. And when it goes that way, then the parliament will be passing things in a jungle law, not in a democratic way. So that one is so dangerous. And again, we need even to change our constitution that if somebody has been elected as a speaker, And he has a party to withdraw from his party completely. So now he can be seen, he is neutral, because some of them, when they leave on weekend, they go and do campaign for their party.
And I think it's in law that you shouldn't be involved in a political party if you're a neutral arbiter.
Yeah, that's the thing. But now, and I told you something, and I want to remind you, my brother, you are my younger brother.
Yes.
I said many people don't do what they hear, even what we are talking in the media here. They take it seriously what they see on their eyes. What we are showing our children, a generation coming, they see that campaign is being done by the speaker, siding one side. They will know. And you know now we have very educated children. Very educated. And you know, they are very sharp. We need to show them that the law says this, because they also read. And nowadays, you just put it on your phone, it will give you the structure of the parliament, the standing orders of the parliament. I think it's not the right thing to do for now, so that we can be able to bring this country to bring in a level that it can be accepted by the public. We are doing the right things. But these two guys are my friends. And don't forget they come from one region. Me, I come from Rift Valley. And me, I'm completely different from them, because in Nakuru, although even Ukambani is like that, you get all the tribes there. But Nakuru more, also the tribes, you get, if it's 40 tribes.
Cosmopolitan,
they are all there.
Okay.
So we have, our politics is different.
All right.
We must try to control. I cannot talk like them, because they have one region, maybe more. But in Nakuru, we are taught to balance, so that we can have peace to all tribes. And all the tribes in Nakuru, they have their own right.
So speaking of balance, Joe, can a speaker be impartial if they're making partisan political pronouncements on political platform? Because they have rights to associate and whatnot, but at the end of the day, it would be a bother if they can't differentiate their functions as a speaker and their political allegiance to the appointing authority.
Today we are going to bore you by saying, before I get to that, let me...
It's okay, we're used to it. Proceed,
So let me proceed with the same narrative. I would call him my young brother here, a very good friend of mine, Mwangangi. He keeps on referring and saying people who have never gone to school, having money. And I remember there's a gentleman called Robert Kiyosaki, who said, or gave a proverb of A students working for C students. There's a book actually. I would encourage him to read that book. And when you look at the world wealthiest people, you will see most of them dropped from university. They attended, they all dropped. The richest people in the world. Money or business is not carried by only those who have masters or degrees. And there's a difference between being educated and being wise. Wisdom. Money is made by wise people. All these things we hear, I can tell you, and Mwangangi knows very well. I was one of those people who used to fly. Actually, I'm a pilot, chopper pilot. Yes. Before I even went to Parliament. And if it is these Arambis we are being told, Mutambo did them before I was a member of Parliament. I remember walking into Arambe in school with a brand new bus. By then it was costing 7-8 million. And I gave them the key. And I told them, whatever money you have collected, go put fuel. And that bus is still there today. So when people do good things, whether they are money, we cannot brand them that they have stolen that money. People do business, people work, and the people in this country are making money. Actually, one of my mentors is this gentleman here. Because I used to meet him in Koinange, we sit somewhere. Tulikuwa tunasema kuchora. And we ask ourselves, what are we going to do to make money?
All right.
Not necessarily stealing.
Okay.
Coming back to your question, I will not judge a speaker by funeral meetings or whatever it is. I will judge a speaker by how he is performing when he is on the chair.
So when he's out there, he's not a speaker?
It's also a Kenyan. And as much as we are saying they are not supposed to be partial, they are supposed to be partial, yes, that is a narrative for discussion. But I will judge a speaker by the way he's conducting himself when he's performing national duties. I will not judge him because he's dancing with a woman somewhere in a funeral and say this is a bad speaker. I will judge him by what he's doing in parliament. All these speakers we've seen, they have in one way or the other engaged themselves. And Mwangangi challenged you to play a clip, and I'm going to help him because my memory serves me very well. It is during Muturi's, who is my good friend, time, when he saw him putting people together for him to be crowned king of Mount Kenya. Was that not him?
But he was not a speaker by that time.
Oh, Muturi?
No.
He was a speaker.
No.
Check the date. He was the speaker. No. When Muturi wanted to be the king person of Mount Kenya.
That's towards the 2022 general election.
He was a speaker, my friend. Because you can even see the convoy, it was GK cars. So, what we are saying, let us not point fingers to people.
Okay. He was Attorney General, let me remind you.
No,
he became attorney during Ruto's administration.
No, it was during Uhuru's administration.
Yes, but you see, by that time, it was the end of him going outside.
So was he still speaker?
He was still speaker. Whether you are one minute to hand, you are still a speaker.
Okay.
But let me support him on one thing.
We need to move on. Yes.
Mwangangi, I think also we should also agree that people even who are not educated, they can make money. See Jenga Karume. Jenga Karume, he was doing the business of charcoal.
Correct.
But he came. My father, he bought the first land 1962. He was just a mechanic in Banita Saiso Estate. So sometimes I agree with Mukangu sometimes, although anaenda anatoka nje kidogo, lakini it is good to say wisdom is the best thing than anything else. You might be educated so much, then you cut yourself with your own knife.
And vijana siku hizi wanasema street smart and book smart.
Exactly.
Now, finally, as we move on,
Yes, Honorable Joe Mutambo has misquoted Robert Kiyosaki. At least, yes, and I've interacted with a lot of materials by Robert Kiyosaki. And by the way, he has even authored some books, which I can refer you to, together with the current President of the United States of America, President Donald Trump. They are allies for a long time, business allies. I agree with you. At least, as students working for C students, all of them are educated. C students is a very highly learned person. What I'm saying is, I think Mutambo is very clever. He's trying to paint something else of what I've just said to change so that it can fit what he's trying to say. And what I said is, Mutambo, the Sky team, please focus on the economic destruction of this country by a political class. That is the point I'm putting across. It's not the question of those who are educated are only the ones who can make money. No, that is not the point. The point is, we political class trying to destroy the economy of this country through looting, mismanagement, and trying to get as much money as possible so that we can move from point A to B to C, dishing out money. And the money which can clearly be seen, this is not money that we sweat for. We need to do it responsibly. What I'm saying.
How do you know it's not money they've sweated for?
Because
there's some people who are...
Because how do I wake up in western part of this country. And I go to around 5 functions, same day, donating millions of shillings, and before the end of the day, I'm in coastal region of the country doing the same. Where is the source of this money? Where is the source of this money? Sincerely, even if you have donors who are the richest in this country, that kind of, no.
Okay, it's questionable. We need to move on.
Just one point, just one point. You see,
yeah.
The problem which is there, it is if you are stealing the money. But if you are working and you work hard, I don't think it will have any problem with having money, because people do business and we are not with the same wisdom. People work in a different way.
Okay.
And they make money. Like now, many people will see me and think now, I got money just the other day. 1997, I had 15 tractors, 87. 15 trucks are doing 10,000 acres of breweries contract by that time. So let's agree the wisdom, and because I knew how to work with your hands.
Yeah.
And again, let's see, God, what does the God say? God doesn't say, be so educated that you have money. No. Was Jesus educated? Which school did he go? But he had something called wisdom. And that's why we are singing now, we are preaching Jesus.
Fair
so
point.
let's not attack Mwangangi so much on that side.
Yeah.
And I agree with you, let's balance.
Okay.
Because the end of the day,
let's move.
do we have anybody in Mother Teresa?
Let's move
Even
on.
you are going for
Fair
governor.
point. I think
because
your point
you
is
want money.
across.
I'm going for parliament because I also want money.
Okay, Ngunjiri. Tell me this. The party leader of ODM, Oburu Oginga, during the signing of the Sovereign Wealth Fund Act at State House, Nairobi, urged President William Ruto to embrace benevolent dictatorship. We'll do this briefly because Oburu argued that Kenya has too much democracy and that decisive, bold leadership is needed to cut through political noise and override private interests that stall critical national reforms. I think we have his bite. Let's just listen in to what he had to say.
Sometimes then there is too much democracy. There should be some little benevolent dictatorship so that some things can move.
He clarified that he was not calling for outright tyranny. His remarks, of course, drew significant public discussion and online criticism as well from opposition leaders, rights activists. Kenya is a democracy, Ngunjiri.
Yes.
At the end of the day, can we afford that laxity of a benevolent dictator? Does it have space in Kenya's current democracy?
Well, I think it's just maybe loose of tongue saying democracy, because where there is democracy and there is constitution, we must follow the constitution.
Yes.
Because the constitution was made by the people for their own leadership. So when we say dictators, there are countries where there's dictatorship, which we know it is very bad, killing people, doing other things. Maybe he's not mentioning that. Because if you mention that about the dictatorship, people might take it wrongly. And you see, there are countries where you don't stop of the president who are dictatorship. But the president we have today, for me, I cannot abuse him. But there's a kumukosoa, an advice, because I'm older than him, and say, maybe I was in Kano, I was saying this way, but not to abuse him.
Okay.
But also, he should also be patient to be challenged. Simply. I always tell him, even in my Facebook, if you respond to the opposition in a bitter way, you have given them agenda. They will have agenda to respond. But if you say, like Kibaki, sawa, hiyo yote tunajua, wewe unataka kusaidiwa na watasaidia nani? And he keeps quiet. And he did very well. So when we make a lot of noise on responding this side and responding this side, it is going to have emotion to the people we are leading, and it's going to put us in a very awkward situation.
Then perhaps he was hinting at arguing that bold, occasionally unpopular leadership is necessary to ensure long-term economic and other milestones are realized. So making unpopular decisions, not for the benefit of the short term, but looking at the bigger picture.
But I think what he was doing,
yes,
he was responding with the ODM. I think his answer was coming to ODM because the way they are going, that he want to say, I must have a small dictatorship. Maybe he was responding to that, but not to the Kenyans.
Okay, if he was here, we'd have asked him. But since he's not, let's push this conversation forward since we only have 10 minutes. Joe, the united opposition hasn't yet named their presidential candidate. And the former cabinet secretary, former Attorney General Justin Muturi, publicly criticized the opposition coalition for perceived cowardice and indecision in naming a joint presidential flag bearer. He said that, why delay? So is it strategy or is it cowardice? Let's listen to the man himself, then come back to you.
We don't have a candidate, ati a presidential candidate, ati kwa sababu tunaogopa, tuacheni hii mambo ya ati, ati we are playing some cards very close to our chest. Which chest?
So which chest? Is it strategy? Is it cowardice? Through your experience, how would you evaluate their decision to hold back on naming a candidate due to the fear that Ruto can come in between and, cause issues?
Most of our time, I listen to what people don't say. So I did hear what Muturi did not say.
And what's he not saying?
I will not speak for himself, but I will speak for myself. That we've been around and we know all these people. And sometimes I proclaim to be a prophet and I foresee things. And I can tell you and quote me on this. The day the opposition will name their candidate, that is the day they will lose the election. Quote somewhere.
Well, why is that?
That is what they are fearing.
Why is that? Justify.
I'll tell you why. There is a lot of narrative around the opposition. And there's an issue of this and that ticket, this and that ticket, this and this, mutu yetu ayuko, all those kind of things. And there's also another very interesting narrative, which Gujiri is keeping to himself because there are things they don't say openly. They're asking themselves some very pertinent questions because I interact with them, okay? And this is the question. If we go Kalonzo, and Mwangangi get agitated when I call Kalonzo, but Kalonzo is a very good friend of mine, and I call him on a good reason.
Okay.
When you go Kalonzo way, and the Western, that's one ticket. These guys are asking question. That will be 20 years of waiting.
Which guys?
Mount Kenya.
Not you.
But you are saying these guys.
Which guys?
Look, I'm pointing like this.
Which guys?
Okay? The Mount Kenya is asking, if we go that route, we'll wait for 20 years. Because the narrative on the campaign will be, kumi ya Kalonzo, kumi ya yule mwingine. And here comes a clever Ruto and tells Gujiri, Gujiri, you are my friend. We've been fighting, but you can put our fight aside. I want you to support me for only 5 years. I give it back to you. Do you know what they're asking in their language? Ne hakue. 20 na 5. Ni wapi karibu? So you see Gujiri is smiling because there's also that narrative.
All right.
And also there's a narrative of, because let us be open and honest. The only region which is politically rich and which everybody is eyeing for is Mount Kenya. And when Mount Kenya says, hakuna mtu yetu, then there will be a problem.
So and you foresee a challenge if Kindiki is on the ballot and the opposition doesn't have a Mount Kenya candidate? Long story short.
It.
Okay.
You got it. So those are the issues, and that's what I'm saying. The day we will get a candidate from opposition and the running mate, that is the day they will lose the election.
So before we come to the Mount Kenya guy, Mwangangi, you're not smiling at all. Could this continued silence and failure to unify behind a single presidential candidate actually erode voter confidence in the united opposition?
Rogers, you took us through something which was meant somewhere in the highest office, That comment is very dangerous in my, and unfortunate, by ODM leader, whose younger brother built ODM to become one of the major political organizations across this continent, not only in Kenya. The late Prime Minister, my presidential candidate, thrice, fought for expanded freedoms, respect for human rights, and constitutionalism. And here is his elder brother, whom many Kenyans expected to continue with what really meant ODM party to be what was left by the late Prime Minister. I'm not sure it is the same today. And make such alarming statements. To an extent, you need some benevolent dictatorship because I want the power, looking for power. No. There is no, Kenya doesn't have that space. That one is outdated, and I call upon him actually to apologize to Kenyans. In Kenya, we are democracy. In Kenya, we have a constitution. Anybody in any public space must be held to account, irrespective of the position, whether MCA, whether deputy governor, whether president.
The president can't be prosecuted, can he?
Kenyans expect.
Okay.
There is what Kenyans expect.
All right.
You know why I'm saying the president. You know why I'm saying a governor. You know why I'm saying an MCA.
Fair point.
Because when you get elected, those people, they have expectations.
All right.
The head of state represents all of us. And we have to ask questions and expect answers from the government. I cannot put a minister to his or her defense because he's an appointee of the president. That is the person we elected, not this one who is exercising a delegated authority. So I think the issue of a benevolent dictatorship, even thinking about dictatorship in Kenya, that autocracy mentality has to be rejected under whatever cost. And please, we need to not even think about it in the first place. To the question of a candidate, there is what the emeritus, AG and Speaker said. I was in that function. I was in that function.
It was in
and
Pambani.
Please,
yes.
Our viewers, don't take serious what Motambo and Wuda could be thinking, because I've heard that what he has just said is what Wuda is thinking. They're just thinking, come up with this and we bring this the propaganda, these kind of things. It's not from there. From the past. Remember the issue of two gentlemen and one lady taking tea in Serena, which produced a government way back 2002. That is the late, one of the presidents who transformed Kenya, Emilio Mwai Kibaki, the late Kijana Wamalwa, and Charity Gilu. They started sitting, they sat, people were saying, and less than 3 months to elections, we had a candidate. So Kenyans, please bear with us. I know what I'm commenting is something above me, but I've sat with these leaders. I tell you, we'll get a candidate, and this is the next government in Jesus' name.
So what will we be using? A scientific approach? Is it things to do with numbers? Because at the end of the day, politics is a game of numbers. So
from
the numbers
where I
are leader. Yes.
From where I sit, the next election, far from it, the regionalism, the tribalism, the communal arithmetic might not apply, but we want a better governance than what we have at the moment.
So someone's track record.
We want a constitution and a government that respects constitution. If I've made any crime, you do not have to bring 20 sombaros to just arrest a single person. Just call me. Ask even an assistant.
We don't have time, DG.
So
what approach would you prefer? Scientific, looking at someone's track record, the numbers they bring on the table, what supersedes the other?
All that will apply. Plus another one you have not said.
Which one?
Consensus building on the best candidate.
All right.
Because all these principles,
Yeah.
any of them
Yeah.
can lead this country. But they are sitting, they are talking, and I know they will get us a presidential candidate.
Is there a time frame to that?
You remember, I've made a comment that
Okay.
what
It's
I'm
above your
discussing is
pay grade.
something.
Okay,
Well, yes.
no problem. I won't put you on the spot.
Let me
Finally,
say
we
that,
are pressed of time. Yes.
Let me say this.
Yes.
Even what Oburu said, we must understand in this country. Say like Oburu, he can say something like that the way Kenyatta was saying, or Kibaki. It is not a very serious issue. But a young person like us, if we can say that, it is very sensitive. Even they can abuse, like Kibaki was saying, Bulewe mafia kuku. But that one was just his age.
Yeah.
There was no problem. But a young person, if you behave that way, it will be very bad. Second, let me advise, with the experience I have. The politics is not it. Reaching the decision is coming. Let's be patient. The people you are fighting for, you don't know when they will do handshake. You don't know. You'll be left, and you also start now singing what have happened. Let me tell you, when I was chairman of Kano, there was fight of Odinga and Matiba. I want to tell you exactly, and you understand. When they went, the Matiba went in, he was sick. When he went, I think it was UK or somewhere. When he was coming, I did not know the politics I saw with Moi. Moi called us, my chairman, all of us, and give money. We were given money, and trucks and what, and penderas and what. I asked for what, and this money. No, transport people, taking them in the airport to receive money, Matiba. He said, what is this? So he knew the card he was playing, Moi. So we went with the trucks, all of us, with the penderas and everything, receiving Matiba. Then the attitude came, you don't need leader. You don't need your Odinga. Be a presidential candidate. He changed. He left how they were working with Odinga, and he came and said, I'm going to be a candidate. Yeah. Then in between Moi also, we went somewhere with him. He met with the father of Odinga, and they talked with the son, and he told them, do you want this country I live for Kikuyus? Will you be able to control them? So you better work together, me, I leave it for you. This is politics. And it happened, and it worked. So I agree with Mokambwe in saying anything can happen. We are still very far in politics. Let's be flexible and see these people who would say that Uhuru will make a handshake with the leader. Who would agree that? Who would know that Ruto will do handshake with the leader?
So anything is possible in politics.
Anything is possible, and we are still very far. The worst thing is to follow us. We follow with abusing others and doing very hard things. No. Let's go slowly.
Okay.
If the president who is there will come back, he's the president. If opposition will come there, will be, because the power is not with us who are here. The power will be for the people.
Yeah, the voters.
And it will depend how they will be driven.
Okay.
And if they make a decision,
yes.
we shall agree with the decision. But let's respect them now. Yeah. Me, I cannot abuse Kalonzo.
Okay.
I cannot abuse the president. I cannot abuse Gachagua.
All right.
With my age, because I know the head of the tunnel, these guys might meet and make a handshake, and Gojiro will be left there.
So better safe than sorry. Our time is up, gentlemen. I wish we had more time.
Either way, constitutionalism is very important.
Okay.
My point.
30 seconds, yeah?
30 seconds. I want to support him with what he has said. And this is very important to the viewers. Those who are fighting out there because of the leaders, you are getting it wrong.
Okay.
Let Kenyans not fight for the leaders. No. Because you will fight for them and you will see them drinking tea tomorrow. So this narrative of it is that, please viewers, please Kenyans, let us maintain our cool, because you never know who will shake hands with who, when, and where. You may see Wiper working with UDA, and here we are fighting UDA. Then you become now like, I don't know, a stooge. Because it can happen. Because the moment, you know, I was there. Let me remind Mwangangi.
30 seconds up.
No. There's two more. I want to remind Mwangangi, I was with him in Jubilee. When we were cast by Kalonzo.
Okay.
But the moment the election was over, Kalonzo and Uhuru were together.
All right.
Mwangangi and I, who were left in the
Let's
streets.
agree to disagree, gentlemen. The taste of the pudding is in the eating, so we'll see how it all plays out. Remember, history has taught us. Yeah.
But Rogers, there is no Kenyan who is fighting for any leader here. Sincerely.
The goons who are...
I'm telling you.
That statement by Mutanbu, you know, he's just hiding.
Okay, gentlemen, I think we'll have this same panel come again so we can canvass other issues, including the issue of goonism. Unfortunately, we weren't able to talk about it, but there's always a next time. Thank you so much. We'll definitely do that. Asanteni sana for your time. Kimani Ngunjiri, former Member of Parliament for Bahati constituency, served from 2013 to 2022. We're equally joined by Joe Mutambu, former Member of Parliament for Mwingi Central, having served during the 11th Parliament. And last but definitely not least, the Deputy Governor of Machakos County, Francis Mwangangi. Asanteni sana for your time, gentlemen. It was a forthcoming discussion. And that's how we wrap up tonight's edition of KTN Prime. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you're adequately informed. Enjoy the rest of your viewing. Good evening.